What is going on? I want to talk about Jimmy Kimmel. And what's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in. I want to talk about Jimmy Kimmel and what just took place and how people are not actually seeing the truth of all of this. And I actually called it out when it first took place. I actually called it out. And I said what was happening with Jimmy Kimmel was a hoax from the very get-go. And the reason why I said that is because the Democrats, they want to win. Now, for anyone who's really been paying attention to any of this, you know very well that President Trump had nothing to do with Jimmy Kimmel getting fired in the first place. He had nothing to do with it. The FCC didn't call ABC or Disney and say that y'all need to fire Jimmy Kimmel, because if there was an email, if there was a phone call, if there was a text message, they would have shared it. They would have put it out there for the entire world to see. Oh, look, the federal government is trying to silence one of us. They would have put it out there if that was the case. But that wasn't the case. And see, Jimmy Kimmel's, his ratings were in the dirt, and they were spending millions and millions and millions of dollars trying to keep his show going. And the Democrats, they're willing to spend millions, if not billions of dollars for an agenda. Even if that agenda doesn't even pan out or doesn't even make anything, they're willing to try to do it. They're willing to blow money on it. Jimmy Kimmel, I believe, without me being there, and all of this is my opinion, I called this out before he went back to ABC. I said that this is all an elaborate hoax, and that they're doing this to get people riled up about Jimmy Kimmel, and they're lying, saying that President Trump is the one that did this to him, and to get people to tune back in to Jimmy Kimmel. Now, as soon as Jimmy Kimmel does his first show after going back, I'm going to tell you right now, people are going to tune in just to see what he has to say. People are going to tune in just to hear what Jimmy Kimmel has to say. And that was the whole point of this, to get people to tune in and to give the Democrats a win. See, President Trump has been winning and winning and winning and winning. The Democrats will come up with these fraudulent lawsuits against President Trump, trying to prevent President Trump from protecting the American people. And then he would just turn around and be a win for America. Well, the Democrats didn't like that. They don't like that. The Democrats don't want a win for America, so they had to create this elaborate hoax, is what I'm calling it. They created this elaborate hoax like President Trump is trying to do away with free speech. Knowing good and well, President Trump has never, ever called for anyone to be suppressed. He's never called for the press to be silenced. It's only been those on the left. They've been doing it ever since. The left, they were the ones who was kicking and screaming about removing President Trump from Twitter, from X. Remember, at the time it was Twitter. And then they even followed through with it. At the end of President Trump's first term, they even followed through with it by removing President Trump from Twitter. They removed him from Facebook, and they also removed him from YouTube. They were purposely removing President Trump from all of these platforms to silence him, because they didn't want people hearing what President Trump had to say. And they say, well, he's a threat, so we have to silence him. And I'll never forget it. Kamala Harris was talking about his 62 million people on Twitter. You need to silence him so the 62 million people can't hear anything that he has to say. They were doing this. So Jimmy Kimmel, And I don't know if y'all even agree with me or not. It's really not important if you agree with me or not, but I think some people do. This was all an elaborate hoax. Because when they brought Jimmy Kimmel back, the whole point with them bringing him back is say, we got to win. We stopped Trump. We stopped Trump from implementing tyranny, from suppressing free speech. We stopped Trump. And Trump was never involved in firing the dude in the first place. I'm telling y'all right now, I saw it big as day. And some people who watch my shows, now, I said it on my LFA TV network show called Culture Wars. And I didn't have time to pull that clip out from the other day. I'm going to pull that clip out as soon as I get some time. And I'm going to put the date on there just to show when I said it a couple of days ago. Now, I'm not on here tooting my horn. I'm not on here saying that I have a crystal ball or a prophet. I'm just telling everybody I saw the writing on the wall. This was a way to get Democrats to rally behind something because they don't have anything. Name something that the Democrats have right now that they can rally behind. I mean, just really, what do they have? See, they've been rallying behind these MS-13s and this Tre de Agua terrorists that are in the country. They've been rallying behind them. They'll even go to another country to support them, right? That's what they've been doing. So they've been rallying behind them, but it's not working out for them. So they grabbed onto a cause. They grabbed onto a cause that they felt would be beneficial to them to fight for, to make it look like they're the ones actually fighting for free speech. And they're not fighting for free speech. How many times have y'all seen these radical liberals call for the censorship of conservatives? Time and time again. You remember the laptop? You remember the Hunter Biden laptop? Y'all remember that? I remember it. The Hunter Biden laptop, that story came out and they all kept saying it was Russian disinformation. And then when the truth about it came out, they said, squash the story. Squash the story. Do not allow anyone to show anything about it. Don't allow anyone to talk about it. Call it Russian disinformation. Let's squash it, squash it, squash it. Squash it, squash it, squash it. Jimmy Kimmel, the whole thing was a hoax. Straight up hoax. And I don't know if anyone else is even really talking about it this way. And I'm telling y'all right now, I called it out the other day. For those of you that watch my network show, Culture Wars on LFA TV, if you were there, you know very well that I said it. I called it out. And people were in the chat saying, no, he's not going back. He's not going back. Multiple people saying he's not going back. He's fired. He's been canceled. He's not going back. And I said this was a hoax because they need a win. They need a win. See, every time President Trump does something positive, beneficial for the American people, the Democrats run straight to the courts and they find a radical federal judge, leftist judge, to say that President Trump can't prevent MS-13 from coming to the country. Or they'll find a radical judge to say that you cannot deport these criminals out of the country. They run to the court system and find a liberal judge for everything. And they've even said it. They've even said that they're going to go to the courts and to stop Trump. They've said it multiple times. Well, when the appeals happen and then President Trump wins, they don't talk about the story any longer. They just move on to the next thing. Let me give you an example. In the state of California, President Trump, Tom Homan, they sent in ICE to apprehend these monsters and these people that are in the country illegally. He sends in ICE. The governor and the mayor, Mayor Bass in LA, she decided, and Gavin Newsom decided not to assist ICE in apprehending these people that have broken the law. These are elected politicians, my personal opinion, violating the law. So in that case, they told the police department in LA not to assist ICE. So the police department is watching ICE members getting bombarded with bricks, getting their tires slashed, getting physically attacked by these radical leftists, and the police department, their hands have been tied behind their backs. They can't do anything. So what happens? What happens? President Trump said, okay, since you are not going to allow the police department, because the police department, they do want to help get these criminals off the streets of America, but since you're not going to allow them to help ICE members to apprehend these criminals and remove them from our country, I'm going to send in the National Guard. So what do? They run straight to the court system and say President Trump cannot deploy National Guard onto the streets of America to help out ICE. Right? They try to stop him. Well, of course, the appeal court came back around. The Supreme Court came back around and said, no, President Trump has every right to put the National Guard there to assist ICE, especially if you are going to neuter the police department, handcuff them from doing their jobs. President Trump has every right to do it. So what do? Just yesterday, Gavin Newsom decides to do a press conference, and he does an executive order because now they can't stop ICE. They can't stop the National Guard from coming into the state, from apprehending these people that are not American citizens. Since they can't stop them from doing that, Gavin Newsom and the rest of the Democrats in California take it upon themselves to do an executive order to prevent ICE from wearing a mask. Now, they can do an executive order. It is completely lawful for Gavin Newsom to do an executive order because he is the tyrant governor in the state of California. Let's just be clear about that. He has every right to do it. I looked it up. He has every right to do it. It's an executive order. Now, does ICE need to comply with his executive order? The answer to that is no, because ICE is a federal agency. Gavin Newsom is not the president. President Trump is the president. President Trump is over the federal government. ICE falls under the federal government. Democrats can't wrap this information around their heads. They can't understand it. And then when they see ICE on the streets of California still wearing masks, they're going to be screaming at them, you have to take the mask off. It is by law, you have to take the mask off, because they're going to be completely ignorant to the facts. They're not going to know the truth about all of it. They're not going to know. You see, that's my point in all of this about Jimmy Kimmel doing a hoax, trying to say that President Trump is taking away their rights, taking away freedom of speech, when every single time someone loses their rights, it's because of a leftist. Because of a leftist. Every time free speech is under attack, it's because of the left. It's not because of those on the right. Those of us on the right, we're always kicking and screaming for the rights to be able to say what we want to say. Jimmy Kimmel, and I'll be honest with you, I don't even think that ABC and Disney didn't do it because of what he said. I think that was like the last straw because of all the money that they lost. Now, Jimmy Kimmel is going to go back on. And what's going to end up happening, my opinion here, is that all of these liberals that were upset, believing the hoax that President Trump fired him because of what he said about Charlie Kirk and about MAGA Republicans, the people are going to tune in. There's going to be a huge number, and they're going to promote it too. I believe they're going to promote it. So whenever the first night it goes back, was it last night? I don't watch them, not going to watch them. But I'm suspecting that it wasn't last night because they would have had videos of him doing it. And it's going to be his probably most watched episode ever. Because what's going to end up happening is these radical leftist lunatic liberals that were out there protesting, that were out there believing the hoax, they're going to tune in just to hear what he has to say. Y'all know this, right? They're going to tune in just to hear what Jimmy Kimmel has to say. I'm telling you right now, they're going to tune in just to hear what he has to say. Because they're all believing the nonsense right now. They're all believing the hype. I called it out. I'm trying to tell y'all, I called it out, said it was a hoax. When I first saw it, I said, wait a minute, as much as Disney hates President Trump, as much as ABC hates President Trump, they would, if President Trump was calling for him to be fired, they would go against it 100%. They wouldn't care how much money they're losing, especially if President Trump is specifically narrowing down on one person, like you have to fire this person. I don't like what this person said. You got to get rid of him because I don't like what he said. If President Trump did that, they would show the goods on it. There will be some evidence of it, but there's no evidence of it. Now, did President Trump say he's a despicable person? It's true. He is a despicable person. Talking about Jimmy Kimmel. I mean, President Trump can have that opinion about him. I mean, what's Jimmy Kimmel's opinion about President Trump and MAGA Republicans? Those of us that love America. He made his opinion clear. And rumors has it is that he was going to go on and say just the most despicable things, even more so about MAGA Republicans. He was going to say more nasty stuff about Republicans. So I guess now he's going to get that opportunity. Now he's going to get that opportunity. Not that I believe that opportunity went away in the first place, because I think this was all an elaborate hoax. I truly believe that. Well, let me share some of the reason why I believe it's an elaborate hoax. Listen to these liberals on the Communist News Network trying to make it look like and trying to push the whole idea that Jimmy Kimmel lost his job in the first place because of free speech.
You signed an open letter by the ACLU along with 400 other notable Hollywood luminaries condemning the Kimmel suspension, supporting freedom of speech. I wonder what else you might like to see from your colleagues, whether you would support, as some have suggested, a boycott of Disney.
Well, first of all, Boris, thank you for having me. I mean, this is a no-brainer. This isn't even a partisan issue. Free speech is the counterweight. It is the check on government control. That is why censorship is the authoritarian's dream.
Are you hearing this? Are you hearing this? He's saying that's why censorship is the authoritarian's dream. It's the authoritarian's dream. Do y'all know any conservatives that were censored by these liberals? Do y'all know any of them? Do you know any of them? Are you a conservative, and have you ever experienced censorship? Anybody? Anybody out there? You mean to tell me that YouTube and Facebook, which is, 99.99999.9% liberal, left leaning, anyone get censored there? No, tell me it's not true. None.
Partisan issue. Speech. I on this about this, and I think there is a real opportunity here because we have seen a lurch towards a consolidation of power that is threatening so many fundamental freedoms in this country. In my community, we have, unidentified armed people jumping out of vans.
Do you hear that? We have unidentified armed people jumping out of vans, and listen to what he says here.
Taking people away without charges. And we need to stand up. And this is low-hanging fruit, and it's an opportunity for Bob Iger to do something wonderful. I think it's a case that if he fights it, I think the Supreme Court has made clear that...
What is there to fight? What is there to fight? President Trump never fired or insisted that Jimmy Kimmel was fired. Did he say he probably should be fired? Sure. He has every right to say that. But he never pressured anyone to be fired. Where's the evidence of it? Where's the evidence? See, they put these lies out there, and these people who believe this nonsense, they run with it. And they don't even question what they're being told. Don't even question it.
What happened here is an infringement on free speech. And I think it is an opportunity for Iger one of the most discouraging things to me over the last 9 months has been the cowardice of the least vulnerable, richest media moguls on the planet to stand up to what feels to me like encroaching authoritarianism.
Really? Really? This was all an elaborate hoax, a created agenda to have everyone believe that President Trump is trying to do away with free speech, and it never even took place. Jimmy Kimmel's cancellation was that very thing. They needed to do this to make this perception, to have people believe it, and people were believing it and it's running with it. And then he goes back and it's, yes, we won, we stopped Trump. I'm telling y'all right now, can we just be brutally honest about all of this? Can we just be brutally honest? The Democrats don't have no foundation of anything to stand on. Nothing. Everything that the Democrats want to push onto our society, majority of the people in this country don't want anything to do with it because it's pretty sick. It's pretty sick what they're doing. It's sick that the Democrats would celebrate what happened to Charlie Kirk. The Democrats don't want to even call that type of crime a crime, what happened to Charlie Kirk. They believe that it's okay for it to happen to you and I. They're actually advocating for it. There's multiple Democrats that's advocating what happened to Charlie Kirk to happen to the rest of us. They're wanting that. So these people on here lying, blatantly lying, making up this crap. And see, this is the propaganda that needs to stop. Don't stop lying. I mean, really, just really stop lying. Stop pushing this old propaganda. And what they're doing here is getting people worked up to have people like, oh my goodness, we got to stop Trump. Got to stop Trump. Got to stop. Trump was never even involved with Jimmy Kimmel. Where's the proof of it? Where's the evidence? Put up or shut up. And again, like I said, if there were any evidence, they would have shown it. Oh, look, everybody.
And I think Iger has an opportunity to win this case.
What do you think he should do?
Let me skip down here.
Up until now, we have believed in things like the rule of law.
This is they believe up until now they believed in the things like the rule of law. The Democrats have never. Let me take it back just a couple of seconds here. The Democrats don't believe in the rule of law. Can I remind y'all the Summer of Love, how they were all advocating for that? The Democrats, the left, the radical left, they are the violent entity in the country. They advocate for violence. They push for violence when they don't get what they want. Can we be real about it? Can we be honest about it? When are we going to stop saying, well, you know, not all Democrats want to be violent. If they go and vote for this nonsense, yes, they are for violence. They just don't want to do the violence themselves. When they go on these talk shows, they say certain key words, calling us certain names. They're not going to go out and be the violent ones themselves. But the people that are easily manipulated and brainwashed and believe in this nonsense, guess what? They're going to be the ones to go out and do it, a.k.a. Charlie Kirk. And the dude that did it to Charlie Kirk was not a MAGA Republican. He was a total radical leftist lunatic liberal. 100%. His boyfriend was what they would call one of these furries. His boyfriend was a furry.
Speech and the rule of law. That is why a 30-year treasury bond is so valuable in this country, because up until now, we have believed in things like the rule of law, like freedom of speech.
Oh my goodness.
This crazy idea of the peaceful transfer of power. If we let those things go, we will lose our economic power for generations. So yeah, I think it's a fight that Iger needs to have. And I can't believe nobody's been courageous enough to engage in that fight before this.
We've been engaging in the fight because they've been censoring us all this time. The Democrats are against the rule of law. If the Democrats were actually for the rule of law, they would not be advocating and fighting for MS-13 and Tres de Agua. Make it make sense. All of the horrible things that they're doing, and they're advocating for these people that are in the country, even speaking up against the country, talking about destroying America. These are people from outside the country. talking about destroying America, and they're advocating for them.
When it comes to Kimmel himself, it's pretty clear that we are going to hear from him at some point, whether on ABC or somewhere else. Yes. And there were indications that before his show was suspended, he was going to deliver a monologue that took aim at the MAGA base. One source actually told CNN that there would have been no way back from that monologue for Jimmy. I wonder what you would like to hear from him once he finally speaks up.
Well, the first thing Jimmy said after the horrific assassination of Charlie Kirk was an expression of horror and of love and support to Charlie Kirk's family. I have
he didn't.
No idea what monologue Jimmy was thinking.
Come on, get it out, Junior.
Delivering to the MAGA base, but I did.
Get it out, Junior. Really? Everyone was talking about how despicable his comments were. What is he talking about that he heard from Jimmy Kimmel? Jimmy Kimmel didn't say anything nice about Charlie Kirk. Jimmy Kimmel didn't say anything nice about MAGA Republicans. Jimmy Kimmel didn't say anything nice about Americans that love this country. What is this dude talking about? He's lying. This is another episode of the Jimmy hoax. The Jimmy Kimmel hoax that they're pushing. They're all in cahoots with it together. Because again, if there was actual evidence of President Trump working to do this, guess what would have happened? Guess what would have happened? President Trump would have, there would be record of President Trump saying it. There'll be record of it, but there's no record. There's no evidence of it. And they know this, but they don't care. They don't care. They're expecting you not to even think about any of this. They're expecting you and not to understand any of this. Right? They're expecting you not to pay attention to anything that's been going on, but other than what they've been telling you. And it's trying to be a takeaway free. It's trying to be a takeaway free. They're trying to. I heard him say that this is a joke. It was a joke. When I heard it, got to be a joke. A comedian together with all of this. Jimmy Kimmel is. I don't think I've ever seen a single that's been funny. Another reason why I believe I've seen any other kind of MAGA Republicans or Kimmel. They have. That's why I'm getting tired of it. People are getting sick of it. People are no longer buying it. People don't want to have any more parts to it. They don't have nothing to do with it. They don't care for it any longer. They've been seeing it and they don't want to see it anymore. Just like you, everyone is getting really disgusted with it. Everyone's getting disgusted with the comments. No Republicans were celebrating when Dianne Feinstein moved on. There was not a single person celebrating Dianne Feinstein moving on. There's no videos of it. There's nothing of it. When RGB, Ruth Gator Ginsburg, when she moved on, President Trump was on the tarmac getting ready to go on the airplane, and they told President Trump about it, and President Trump said, "Oh, I didn't know. I just hearing about it." And he said nice things about RGB. He said nice things about her. Nice things when she did not like President Trump at all. And what did President Trump do? He said nice things about it. And that's why the Democrats didn't want to continue playing it. Now, if he would have said something, they would have brought it back up. If he would have said, oh, my goodness, it's good. The world's a better place now. If he would have said that, they would have it on repeat. But there's no videos, there's no audio of any Republicans celebrating it. None. None at all. And then you have this one here. She releases a book. She releases her book. And of course, there's liberals that are highly upset with the information that she put in this book. And now she's coming out saying that she should have, stood stronger, or she should have said more about Joe Biden's cognitive abilities. Should have said more about that. Should have done more. She did it to herself. And her book, what is it? Her book is 100 and I think they call it 107 days. It should be called 107 Days of Failure, is what her book should be called. But I want to play this clip because she goes on with Rachel Maddow. And I want y'all to hear what she has to say about President Trump. Listen to this.
And right now we are dealing with, as I called him at my speech on the ellipse, a tyrant. We used to compare the strength of our democracy to communist dictators. That's what we're dealing with right now in Donald Trump. And these titans of industry are not speaking up. And perhaps it is because his threats and the way he has used the weight of the federal government to take out vengeance.
Are you hearing this? I mean, are we supposed to forget what happened the past 4 years? 4 indictments, 90 plus charges, raiding his home not once but twice, trying to remove President Trump from the ballot so people don't have the option to vote in a democracy. Right? Are we supposed to forget all of that? Or trying to put President Trump in jail in Georgia, getting a mugshot of him? We're not supposed to remember any of that. Or we're not supposed to remember the 34 fraudulent federal charges against President Trump in the state of New York. We're not supposed to remember any of that. Oh, it's only President Trump going after his political opponents. It's only President Trump. It's only President Trump.
And the way he has used the weight of the federal government to take out vengeance on his critics is something that they fear. And I get that. I understand why they do. We've seen the demonstration of it.
Seen the demonstration of it. Seen the demonstration of it. You know what the demonstration of it was? Them. That's what the demonstration came from them. From them doing the tyrannical stuff that they were doing. That's where we saw this at.
The part of your book that has people most upset thus far, which is some of your writing about the decision around the president abandoning his reelection campaign, the timing there and how it was handled. You say in part, page 46, it's Joe and Jill's decision. We all said that like a mantra, as if we'd all been hypnotized. Was it grace or was it recklessness? In retrospect, I think it was recklessness. The stakes were simply too high. This wasn't a choice that should have been left to an individual's ego, an individual's ambition. It should have been more than a personal decision. Whose decision should that have been? How should that decision have been made?
So when I write this, it's because I realize that I have and had a certain responsibility that I should have followed through on.
Oh my goodness. Is anyone else seeing this, or is it just me? Is anybody else seeing this, or is it just me? She had a certain responsibility You know, the border was her responsibility too, being the border czar. But you know, listen to this.
Which is, and so when I talk about the recklessness, as much as anything, I'm talking about myself.
Oh.
There was so much, as we know, at stake. And as I write, you know, the where my head was at the time is that it would come off as being completely self-serving.
What? She's always been self-serving. There's not been a single time she's done any television interview, get on any debate when she got on there, and it hasn't been self-serving. 100% self-serving. I mean, this is rich.
If you said to President Biden that you did not think he should run again.
Yeah, or even that he should question whether it's a good idea. But
oh my goodness, she wanted it so bad. She wanted it so bad.
I think that, you know.
Thank God she's not there. Oh my goodness. Oof, thank God. God heard our prayers.
One of the reasons I wrote this book, Rachel, is there are actually a number of reasons. One is that it is unprecedented, right? To your point of what you said in your opening, we had a president of the United States running for re-election, 3.5 months from the election, decides not to run. The sitting vice president enters the race against a former president of the United States who's been running for 10 years with 107 days to go. And it ended up being the closest presidential election in the 21st century.
Oh my goodness. Lies and lie and more lies. It wasn't even close. It was nowhere close. President Trump won the majority. He won the Electoral College. He won all the swing states. It wasn't close.
Do you think that Democrats should vote to allow the government to shut down in order to try to extract concessions from Trump on these matters?
It won't be the Democrats who are shutting it down. It'll be the Republicans. The Democrats are doing the job that any elected leader should do, which is to say, we're not going to do the bidding of the President of the United States at the sacrifice of our constituents' health care.
Oh, my goodness.
Negotiate.
More. I mean, you know, if I had time, I would put a whole bunch of salad just flying around. Whole bunch of salad just flying around the screen. You know, if I had time to do it. It was a total landslide. She lost bigly. One of the most embarrassing moments for the Democrat Party in American history was this last election. She lost so bad that she didn't even want to show her face. You know, because just think about it. I'm so glad we have not had to hear that cackling. That cackling was just like, it was cackling me to death. Cackle, 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 cackle. I'm thankful we don't have to hear that cackling any longer. And then she comes out with the book. And of course, you got Rachel Maddow, and she's not going to bring up the reason why she wrote, you know, about the reason why she didn't pick Pete Buttigieg. Did y'all know that? Pete Buttigieg was supposed to be the VP, but she didn't want to pick Pete Buttigieg because he was batting for the other team. Yeah, y'all heard me correctly. That's in her book. But for some reason, Rachel Maddow, who bats for the other team, she doesn't bring that up. Why not? Why not? Now, if it was a Republican that said that they didn't pick a person because Pete Buttigieg's lifestyle, they would say, oh my goodness, he's just being hateful. There's no reason not to pick someone to be on your ticket because of their lifestyle. And y'all know what I'm talking about here. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it because you know how they do. Oh, but they don't do censorship, Will Johnson. You can say it. There's no censorship going on, Will Johnson. They don't censor conservatives. Only totalitarian tyrants would do such a thing. I mean, you can't make it up. You can't make it up. Y'all like this? Y'all see how I got the right here? Look at that. That's pretty cool. Y'all see I got your comments? And these are real-time comments. Right. And I saw someone say, just imagine her. And then they have to have about some devils, cackle, cackle, cackle. And the people, are you getting any of this? I know. Oh my goodness. Trump is supposed to be speaking out there as of yet. A statement about the UN is on. Does it? I hope it's just not their stuff in order. Trump is basically saying that and it should go away. Half of being part of the United Nations. I don't know why the United Nations need to be in New York City. Me personally, and this is probably a reason why they'll never allow me to be president, because if I was president and the United Nations in New York would no longer be in New York, I would do an executive order, because of course Congress is not going to do it, but I would do executive order because the United Nations they're undermining the actual Constitution of the United States of America. They need to go. They don't have to dissolve. Y'all can go down to set up shop in Venezuela. Y'all can go down to Cuba. Would not hurt my feelings at all. But you got to get up out of here. You got to get up out of New York because you're on American soil, sovereignty. You got to go. You got to go. So I'm like, I don't want to see you here anymore. You got to go. If I was President Trump, that's what I would do. And President Trump, some of his comments is like leaning that way. But I want it to happen. I really do. I really do. I think that's so cool. I can see Rumble chats in here. I can see YouTube chats. I can even see Facebook chats. And I even see Instagram chats. Now, the only two that I don't have in here, and I wish I could have them in here, and is peel.net, and I'm live on peel.net right now, and there's absolutely wonderful people on peel.net, and Getter, and I'm live on Getter right now as well. Now, I just wish I could get those comments because people like to comment on peel.net. I've noticed that. When people start commenting on peel.net, they start commenting. I mean, it just starts going, right? And even on Getter, right? So if you can, go ahead and leave me some comments. And because the reason why I'm asking you to leave me comments, let's get it rolling. Because I'm going to send information to them, to the team at peel.net, and say, look, this is what I'm talking about. I need to be able to get it in here. I need to be able to pull it in so I can have them all here in one. You can see all the people commenting on all the different platforms. I think it's pretty awesome. All right, everybody. That is it for me. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you could bless me, and that would be a huge blessing if you could, go to my website, uniteamericafirst.com, sign up for the free newsletter, right? Sign up for the free newsletter if you would. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you like this beautiful t-shirt, because I know some of y'all been eyeballing it, I voted for this. By all means, go to my website. You'll see it. You'll be able to pick up one of these or two. Whatever, however many you want. It's entirely up to you. You'll be helping me out too. You get something nice, you help me out. uniteamericafirst.com. Go check it out. I would greatly appreciate it. And I can put it up on the screen here for you. I think I can. Yep, here we go, right here. uniteamericafirst.com. You can see it right there. You just go to my website and you see you can, at the top here, you can shop merch for like the beautiful shirt that I have on right now. And the other one that is really, really good, a lot of people like it, is Trump is your president again. I created the first original one that says Trump is your president, and people were buying it, President Trump's first term. And then now I got another one. It's the same thing, just updated, and it says again. I love it. Or you can see on the other side there, the red tag over there. Sign up for the free newsletter. And at 2 p.m., 1 hour from now, just over 1 hour from now, you will see my show, Culture Wars, where I will be live, Culture Wars, on LFA TV, which I'm going to have some explosive news to share with you. Unless President Trump will be speaking at that time. If he's speaking at that time, we're going to go to hear what he has to say at the UN. All right. Thank you so much. Please consider going to my website. And I'm talking to God's people, not the trolls. Please consider going to my website and supporting me. I need your support. I need your help. Y'all like the information I'm presenting? You got to come. You got to support me. Also, I'm going to go find that clip where I was talking about Jimmy Kimmel. I'm going to show it on my. So y'all, the mobile alert. PM East Coast. PM East Coast. What you do is come to you. Click on directly East Coast time. Thank you so much. I will see you 1 hour from now.